Hey everybody, Ethan here, and you're on my side of the room, and today I've got an epic reveal. So recently, our grandkids were here, and if you watch our main channel, or if you even know we have one, I'll link it in the description. Uh, but our grandkids were here for the last couple of weeks, and we've spent way more time at Disney with them than we normally do because we live so close and we're old. I keep saying our favorite ride's a bench, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially when we live so close. But they live out of town. They have to slam the parks when they're here, so we get it. So it's just you know you add in 3 and a 7-year-old and then 50-plus-year-olds having to keep up with them. It's like, oh boy, this is not our usual scene. All right, well, with that being the case, one of the days recently just rained and rained and rained. And honestly, it just doesn't rain like that here unless it's like hurricane time or something. And I don't know if it was the dregs or something that I don't know about, but it was ridiculous how much it rained. And it got to the point where I hoped we would be able to do this. I just didn't expect it was going to be really a thing, and that is to say to bring them here instead of doing a park on that rainy day. So we brought the grandkids here, and as we were getting the apartment reasonably kid-proof, because we are not a kid-friendly apartment here with all of our sharp objects and everything, and that includes all the music gear. And Jamie asked me, like, are you going to let the kids play with your music stuff? I said, yep. It's like, even like your guitars and stuff? I said, yep. And she's like, well, I mean, but, the youngest is 3. I mean, you really want her playing with your stuff? Yes, I do. The reason being is that I believe the kids should have the exposure to it. Their parents aren't musical. I mean, it's not to say like they couldn't possibly be. I'm just saying that they don't have instruments all laying around, and they have other interests. And so I don't know the extent to which the kids have like musical exposure beyond, like, say, singing along to stuff in the car. So I thought, all right, well, here's an opportunity for them to play the keyboard and mess around with the guitar and all that. And they're not going to play it like any of it, but they just need the tactile feeling of holding it. And they had a lot of fun. It was so cute. The 3-year-old granddaughter was sitting at the keyboard banging away, and her mom called from the other room and said, what are you doing? She goes, rocking. So there you go. Never in my life did I feel so much like Jack Black in that moment. Well, after that, you know how it is, and I mean, you know how it is, that when you are musically inclined, and in this day and age, there's cookies and browser history and whatever, and my Facebook and everything else just gets bombed with ads for guitars. Even stuff I don't play and have any interest in playing, they bomb me with it anyway. It'd be like, replace the reed on your saxophone. Well, let me get right on that, but it's like, well, hey, you said you like music. It's like, well, there's liking music, and then there's replacing the reed on my sax. I mean, let's be realistic here. I thought you guys said you were targeted. Well, but normally they target pretty well, and sure enough, it's like bass. Well, a strip of stuff came through on the Sweetwater, and my granddaughter was sitting with me when I had my Facebook up and saw that strip of basses. And I tapped on one. I said, well, what do you think about that? And she goes, oh, that one's good. I want that. Sure. And I backed out of it, and I tapped on another one. I said, well, what about this one? She goes, oh, I want that. So I saved a picture of it to my phone and sent it to her mom, or not her mom. I sent it, I don't know who I sent it to. I sent it to like family members. I'm like, oh, look at this. She wants this bass. Isn't that amazing? And they're like, what? A 3-year-old wants a bass. It's like, move over, Ellen plays bass. The 3-year-old's in town. So I saved the picture and like whatever, and just to kind of troll her. And also to kind of test, because, 3-year-olds, can you really believe anything they say? And so the next day, I showed her that picture again. I said, hey, what about this bass? She goes, I want that. And she was trying to play it on the screen and trying to strum it the way that she saw me playing it and the way that they were messing around with my instruments here. I went, oh, whatever. Well, then I got another barrage of ads, and this time it was from eBay. And we're standing in line for a ride, and I'm trying to pass the time, so I show her this eBay Fender bass. And I said, what do you think about this? She goes, no, it's no good. And I showed her the picture of her bass, and she goes, yeah, I want that. And she still tried to play it again. And she wanted to scroll through the pictures and look at all the angles, and I only had the one picture saved. Well, I sent a message to her aunt, my sister-in-law, and I said, she really wants this bass. She goes, well, how much is it? I said, you know, can you even put a price tag on a 3-year-old's happiness? Well, Sweetwater can, and it's $700. Well, enough talking about it. Look at what she wants. Isn't that amazing? I mean, what a sweet looking bass. That Marcus Miller Sire V7, 5-string, I mean, active. Oh my God. I mean, this is probably better than any of the basses I have, you know? But she really is into the color, really loves that color, and she really loves the look. She loves the tones she can get. She loves the kind of versatility this would give her, like the kind like she can shift from like country to like harder rock, not necessarily metal, but you know, like if she really worked at it, probably some metal stuff in there. She could do, you know, jazz. She could do, you know, just kind of improv and just kind of scale up and down and noodle and all that. And it's just, to give her that gift is just amazing. So enough talking about it in the abstract even more and showing you the picture. Ready? Ready for this? I have got my bass that I love and play all the time. No, we didn't buy her a $700 bass. She's 3. So here's the thing, and here's why I'm telling you this story, and not just simply to troll you and anybody who's still here after this. Here's the point. Yes, expose the kids to the music and give them the opportunity. Like if you have, say, an instrument like this, yeah, let the 3-year-old, like you can hold it and let them do this and stuff. Give them the tactile experience of messing around with it. If I bought her that Marcus Miller, first of all, like, well, how come she gets one and I don't? And secondly, it'd be like buying her a wedding dress. It's awfully presumptuous at her age to say that she's going to be a bass player. Even Ellen of Ellen Plays Bass fame did not start playing the bass. She did other stuff and eventually migrated to the bass, and that's where she is now. I like that she's being very consistent with she wants that specific bass, and she knows when you're trying to fool her into saying yes to anything, and she knows the difference. So, I mean, Sire's going to be loving that. Like, yeah, there's a difference, man. But no, you do not buy a 3-year-old a Marcus Miller 5-string full-on long-scale bass that she has to like grow into at like 13 years. But what my message is, and even if like say, I don't know if I'll send this video to her mom and dad or not, but the thing is, it's like, any way you can get that exposure up to music, like the instruments and just music in general. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good for your cognitive development. It's just good for you, I think. I'm biased, but I think that there's stuff that'll back me up on that. But we're not looking for her to be a star. The thing with my granddaughter is, I'm breaking down the video of like, we're putting up the video of their stay or their trip to Disney recently, and I'm doing it in chunks. And one of the one of the scenes. There are no scenes, it's just stuff that happened. But the point is, she and her brother are standing in line for the Buzz Lightyear ride where you shoot the guns at the targets. And they had ridden it before, so it's not like their first time doing it. It was like they just like riding that ride over and over. And her brother, who's 7, is like, I'm going to win. No, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And all of a sudden she's reduced to tears. And in the moment, it was like, I don't know how we got here. Like, what's this about? And my wife and I were talking about it today. And I said, it's not that she was competitive. That's not what it is. Because, I absolutely smoked her at Buzz when we wrote it together. And she wasn't like, all hurt that I smoked her, because she wasn't really playing. She was just happy to ride it. That's really what it was. Shooting at stuff was kind of a bonus feature, but she could take it or leave it. Well, she said she's going to win. Her brother said she isn't. And that was the conflict. And that's what drove her to tears. She said she's going to do it. And if you doubt it, you're wrong and you're going to upset her. She doesn't say yes to everything. She says yes to certain things. So to have her say yes to a Marcus Miller Sire V7 bass, that's something. And I'm kind of capturing this for posterity, because what if we look back on this one day and my granddaughter is the next Ellen playing bass, and she's wowing everybody with her skills with a Z. Could happen. I don't expect it. But I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying, like, expose to the thing. Like, in this, give the exposure to the music, and where it comes from. And let her decide, does she want to pursue that and learn how to play stuff? Or it could just be a passing fancy, like, yeah, it's neat, drums are cool, whatever, shrug and move on. But to have the exposure to it and to know, I think, is everything. And to have my grandkids in here playing my instruments, however badly, but having fun doing it, that was everything. So if you were trolled by this, well, sorry, not sorry. But just the same, keep playing, keep learning, and I will catch you in the next video. Or I won't, because you're mad at me because I trolled you. I don't know. I just work here. Thanks, bye.